Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is the big man Boisterous coming to you with some Gold League goodiness out of the Shattered Temple. Up here in the top position, we have Heretic spawning in as the red Zerg, and over here in the right position as his opponent, we have Runek spawning in as the blue Protoss. As this game starts off, I would just like to throw a big thank you to Blizzard for keeping this map in the map pool, along with Metalopolis. Shattered Temple and Metalopolis might be two of my favorite maps in the game, if not my two favorite maps just in general. I wasn't really around during Season 1, so I haven't quite gotten to play on these maps as much as I wanted to. But then again, as I wasn't around in Season 1, so I didn't have to play on, like, Steps of War. I've heard horror stories about Steps of War, and I've looked at that map, and it's hilarious. Oh, God. We do have Heretic coming in with his Scouting Overlord, and let's see if he does the pro thing and just barely notices the Nexus and then floats away. It does not look like he is going to. So Runek is going to know basically right away, hey, my opponent's in the top position, because he has to be close by air if his Overlord's there. There's absolutely no other way for an Overlord to get there that fast. We do have both players keeping up with pretty reasonable drone and probe creation. And it looks like Heretic isn't going for 14 gas, 14 pool. I'm just gonna call it right here. Oh, actually, it's going to be 14 pool. There's no gas. So a gasless pool. I'd be surprised to see him try to stick this out for any longer. I expect he'd go right into a hatchery. Hatchery's on, like, hatchery first, like, just a fast expand with hatchery first on a map like this is amazingly good because this place is very easily defended right here. Like this choke point right here, plus the fact that Zerg has like movable defenses means that if your enemy is busting down these rocks, which you can have overlords at, you can just pick up your spine crawlers, move them over here. Your army will easily be able to defend this choke point, especially if you put some Zerglings over in like this pocket right here, or back here behind the golds, like maybe destroying the rocks. But then as soon as anything bad happens, you just pop those Zerglings out, run them back behind your opponent's army, and boom, all of his sentries or stalkers are gone, and the zealots are absolutely no issue for your Zerglings. And that's really just one of my favorite strategies. It does look like we have a pretty hidden pylon back here at the back for Runek that is not going to get seen by Heretic's Overlord. So I'm guessing that we're going to see some sort of tech hidden back here. Usually you would see like a Stargate or maybe a really fast robo, like a 1-gate robo, which is a ridiculously fast robo timing. Will usually get hidden in the back of the base, and it'll go for some sort of like Warp Prism play with Zealots. And Warp Prism play with Zealots is actually amazingly effective versus Zerg because they don't really have a nice frontline unit at the beginning of the game to fight off those Zealots. If they rush for Roaches, then it can't really be as effective, but if they rush for Roaches, they're not droning up right. They're not doing it right. So Zealot drops are definitely extremely effective against Zerg because you can really just position the Zealots in like a block, like in between these two mineral patches, which mineral patches are usually in this type of formation on every map. So if you drop your Zealots right here, you drop your Zealots in the back corners over here and over here, then you are set for life. And actually, I don't like this type of SimCity for Zerg, especially against a Protoss opponent or like even a Terran opponent that can just come in here and drop and like. If a Terran or a Protoss drop right here, it's horrible, especially against a Protoss, because let's be honest here, Protoss don't have Hellions. There's not going to be really anything from the Protoss army that's going to be very rapidly dodging around behind your minerals trying to roast all of your drones. So I really don't like that Evo chamber placement. I know it's a habit for people to try to put their buildings in like SimCity as best as they can, but this is a harmful SimCity, in my opinion. We do have an extremely fast layer coming out of our Zerg opponent, so it looks like we might be seeing like a Spire Rush, just the 2-base, really, really strong Spire Rush. And fast Mutalisks against Protoss can be extremely effective, and they can also be a complete flop. If this Forge comes up, and we see like +1 armor come up, and he does end up going for a Spire, which I don't think he might not. He still might not. He still might be going for some sort of insanely fast +1 Infestors, +1 Zerglings with Infestors timing push. What I mean, and that is a scary push. There's not a whole lot of really whole lot of Protosses in this sort of league, the Gold League area, that can hold off that sort of timing push, because it needs good force fields. usually with a straight up army, they'll just fungal your zealots and then swing around back with the zerglings to pick off any stalkers before they actually go after the beefy units, which are the zealots that can just slice all of their units out. It looks like we do have a really fast Stargate out of our Protoss, so he might actually be okay against this rapid Spire timing which is happening behind the layer. But you know, he's actually also rushing for DTs. Huh. I don't usually see any sort of play like this. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be. It's kind of scaring me. The Dark Shrines are again extremely hit or miss, and I think this one's going to have to miss because this Overseer is already here. It's already, you know, just chilling. I'm surprised he got this Overseer, kind of. With the new price drop on the Overseers, that makes them 50-50. It's not so surprising. It's not like I'm like, whoo, that's a crazy Overseer timing right there. Whoo, why is he going for that Overseer? It's more of a, what is he going to do with this Overseer? And he's actually getting a second Overseer. That's pretty fast. That's a pretty surprisingly fast second Overseer. I'm surprised. Is he gonna be going for like any sort of like contaminate play? Because contaminate is a fun spell. Oh god, just contaminate like a forge or something, and then it's like, oh, you're especially if you get a building that just chrono boosted, that's pretty amazing. It looks like this Overseer might actually get picked off by these Phoenixes if he doesn't pay attention. Oh, the Queen can almost transfuse. The Overseer is most certainly going to go down. And actually, he's doing pretty well with these Phoenixes. I mean, these are barely getting hit at all. There's some hull damage on this one, but the Mutalisks pop out and it's time to run. Actually, yeah, still some pretty beautiful micro coming out of Runek right there. Hitting those Mutalisks as much as possible without getting hit himself. And we do have 3 Phoenixes out, and 3 Phoenixes in general will shred 5 Mutalisks. They might lose 1 or 2 of them of their own, but with good micro they will lose absolutely nothing. Like, they won't even take a hit to their shields if your micro is good enough. It's extremely hard. Like, that's the, you know, OGSMC sort of micro, but it's a certain possibility that Phoenixes can just absolutely hard counter Mutalisks, and it doesn't look like that's going to be happening here, but it's not going to matter. These Mutalisks will get absolutely torn to shreds by Phoenixes, because Phoenixes do double damage to light. They do 10 damage to light units, and Mutalisks don't have that much health. Like, they have quite a bit of health, but it's nothing impressive. And, you know, these Phoenixes are just doing pretty well. I mean, to be honest, he sniped off, what, 5 Mutalisks with, you know, Phoenixes. And Phoenixes, although they cost 50 more 50 more minerals, excuse me, than Mutalisks, that's not an amazingly important part for either of our players. Minerals aren't really that big of an issue. As you can clearly tell by their banks, they're not really mineral dumping at all, which they should be. But like, I mean, I wish I could see some zealots mixed in with this Dark Templar army, like just some zealots with charge, because zealots with charge and Dark Templar can actually do a lot of damage, because the zealots with charge are just such flashy units, and they just come in and they surround, and then the Dark Templar will just come through and sweep through your army's forces. And for the most part, he's going to be like focusing on he's going to be focusing pretty heavily on your zealots that are sweeping around, or your Dark Templar that are just slowly sneaking in. And if either one of them really gets ignored, they will get absolutely cleaned up. We do see the 3rd getting killed by Heretic, so pretty good denial of a 3rd right there. Runek is going for a lot of photon cannons, excuse me, but they're not quite in the right spot. He needs like a photon cannon at each of his building clusters, which is like here, 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 and maybe here, but this isn't really even a building cluster. This is just photon cannons and pylons. He really needs some photon cannons like back here, because if this Mutalisk army, if this, you know, tiny Mutalisk ball swings around, he can still kill off quite a few probes before these Phoenixes get here. And these Phoenixes and the Mutalisks fly at, I think, the exact same speed. The 4.25 on Phoenixes, actually 3.75 on Mutalisks. So Phoenixes do outpace Mutalisks by a little bit. If the Mutalisks get ahead, then they're going to be ahead for the entire thing. The Phoenixes may catch them, but they probably won't. And we do see 6 Dark Templar going back here. This is a lot of DTs. This base will almost assuredly go down there's not going to be an Overseer. Like, even though he has Overseers already mixed into his army and just mixed all around, he's not going to get here fast enough. This base is going to die. And actually, his Dark Templar are kind of just sitting here. They're just chilling. And there they go. So here we come with the hatchery that just popped up. And what are these the Dark Templars are just kind of hanging out there. I think they were on just move command. And now they're going to absolutely shred through this hatchery, which is bad because that's just a hatchery that now has to get rebuilt, which is extremely annoying. But we do have Heretic going for the Overseer spot, and the Zerglings are easily going to be able to come over here and clean up all of these DTs. And as these DTs get absolutely destroyed, I think I am going to be going into part 2. So I'll see you guys. Part 2 of this video should already be posted in the video description, or well, not the video description, but in the video responses portion of the comments. If you just look down on your screen. Alternatively, if it's not up there for some reason, you can check it on out at my channel at youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. So I'll see you guys in a bit.